On May 27th, 1995, a long-haul truck driver named Devin Williams was pulling a refrigerated semi, but tonight he was especially tired, or at least he felt tired. He had been on the road for about 4 days straight, man. Just driving, and Monday comes. Devin was a no-show.
Ooh.
They took a missing persons report, and they said they would send an alert to all nearby stations along Devin's route to see if they had any info or maybe they had seen him somewhere. They said they didn't know where Devin was at, but they definitely knew where his truck was at because Sunday, his truck became the talk of the town. So the man started slowly opening his mouth wider and wider until it got to as wide as it could get, and he started moving his jaw left to right just real fast and clicking his teeth together. And just as he was about to run back to his family, the man spoke and said, What's going on? What's going on? Late night family. We back in the building. Coming to bring you another exciting episode of Late Night Conversations with Unc and Nephew. I am your host, King J, also known as Nephew, and to my left is my co-host,
JR, Big Unc.
What's up, Big Unc?
Yeah, Big Unc.
What you doing, Big Unc?
Trying to survive, dog. Make this knee
Getting that recovery,
man, yeah.
How's your recovery been so far?
It's good, man. Therapy went well yesterday, man, but I don't know if I just overdid it this morning. I woke up this morning, bro. It was hurting, man. And
damn.
Yeah, it bruised up all the way down to my ankle. I don't know. So,
yeah, you do look like a leopard, man, like a cheetah, with spots.
Other than spots, bruising. Man. Yeah. Other than that, man, I'm healing, dog.
Man, that's good, man. We're glad, man. We're glad to see that you're doing good, man. The vlog will be up sometime this weekend. Me and him both vlogged the whole day. It was so funny, man. We had a funny time doing it.
I got my vlogs already on my TikTok.
On your TikTok? Yeah. So I got a vlog that I'm going to put together, and we're going to actually post it on the YouTube channel or the Facebook page. Right. So y'all be sticking around for that, man. We got a funny vlog coming for y'all, his surgery day.
Right.
But, man, for today, I got an exciting story for you today, man. Before we jump into that story, though, man, wherever y'all watching, whether that be Facebook, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, wherever you're watching or listening to this podcast, we just want to say thank y'all. And if you could, in your heart, man, give us a follow, man. Follow us on that page. Give us a thumbs up. Give us a review on Spotify. If you're watching on YouTube, man, click the subscribe button. Punch that bell in the face so you get notified every time we post a video, and that is going to be every Friday at 8 a.m.
Right.
So without further ado, let's jump into today's story.
Jump in, boy.
Have you ever ridden in a semi before?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah. I know how to drive them, too.
You know how to drive them?
I ain't got no license, but
Me neither. I've been in a pup truck. You know what that is, right? The ones that haul the trailers, like at the DC.
What do they call them there at DC?
The yard drivers?
The yard drivers, whatever.
I don't know what the trucks call. I know they call them pup trucks.
Yeah. It's just, you just back up, hook up, and go.
And go. Yeah, exactly. You don't take them out on the road, but you just back up, hook up. So that's what I've done. As far as experiencing in semis,
it's crazy because you're way up high and you can see everything.
It's crazy, dude.
It's a different feeling, man.
It's way different. Well, that's what I think about with today's story, man, is about a truck driver. Today's story is called The Trucker Route from Hell.
Trucker Route from Hell.
It's a good story, man. So, dealing with truckers, man, you're on the road.
Right.
So, depending on what kind of company you work for, whether that be like a local company, you're just delivering locally, or you're cross-country.
Right.
I'm sure, like I said, I don't personally know, but I know anybody that's watching that is a cross-country driver or whatever, y'all know, man, a lot of times you're by yourself. Right. You're on the road for hours and hours.
Right.
And it's, man, it can be a bit much.
Right.
And according to today's story, we're going to see what effect that could have on you.
Okay.
So, this is the Trucker Route from Hell.
Trucker Route, let's go.
So, on May 27th, 1995, a long-haul truck driver named Devin Williams was pulling a refrigerated semi, and he pulled into a truck stop in a town called Kingman, Arizona.
Okay.
So, he pulled in, he started making his bed to go ahead and sleep right away. Now, usually, he'll get out, get something to eat, take a shower,
right.
Maybe chill, watch a little TV in the little waiting area, and then he'll go to bed. But tonight, he was especially tired, or at least he felt tired. He had been on the road for about 4 days straight, man, just driving, and he was trying to do as much driving as he could. But this was back in the 90s. Okay. So now, it's required after so long to make a stop.
Right. You had 18 hours or whatever.
Something like that, yeah. But back then, I don't think it was that regulated. So these drivers were just driving
they had different books, so they would mess with the books. I understand that, yeah.
So he had been driving for like 4 days, so he kind of wanted to crash out and get up so he can just finish his route.
Right.
And get back to his wife and his 3 kids. He lived in a town called Americus, Kansas.
Okay.
He hated being away for a long time from his wife and his kids. He just recently purchased a house, and it was a fixer-upper. So they needed to stack some bread so they can do what they wanted and do some repairs around the house.
Right.
So, that's why he was working so much, and this was a big job for him. So he said, hell, I'll take it for the money.
His refrigerator, so he has to make sure that he makes it.
On time. Yeah, because that food can spoil. Yeah. So he laid in his bed, man, trying to fall asleep, but he couldn't. And he knew that if he didn't sleep now, that he would have to take a break again later down his route.
Right.
And that could either make him late for the drop-off or late getting back home. And it was Saturday night, dog. So he had strawberries and lettuce in his truck that he was delivering, and it was due in Kansas City, Missouri on Monday morning. So that's about a 1,300-mile stretch.
Right.
So he was calculating how long it would take him if he stopped again, and he just wasn't sure if he would be able to make it.
Right.
So he said, forget it, man. He said that he was just going to go inside, he was going to shower, and he's just going to take off and hit the road again. See, Devin was only 29, bro, and everybody knew him as a gentle giant. So he was a big white guy. He wore a cowboy hat. He had a big tombstone-style mustache.
Really?
He looked like a trucker, man, because most truckers, dog.
Yeah, so he looked like somebody, like a big rough, like you said, a trucker.
Yeah, a big rough guy, yeah. Most truckers, not like, no offense, but a lot of truckers, man, you see them, they look like rough, rugged men, just tough guys. They, like him.
They're big guys usually because they're eating on the road.
They just drive, yeah. And so he fit the part perfectly. And so, like I said, he got big old mustache, cowboy hat. He a big dude. So he looked like a trucker, man. But they drive long drives, man. And with him, all he talked about, despite being the image of a trucker,
right,
he wasn't rough and rugged, man. He was a really gentle giant, man.
Right.
All he talked about was his kids. His wife, how much he loved his kids. He couldn't wait to get home to him every trip he took, man. Most of the people at wherever he drove for, the company he drove for, they knew him as such a nice, man. He was nice and he loved his family, bro. So after a while, man, like I said, of not falling asleep, he got frustrated and he's like, forget it. I'm just going to shower, get a bite, hit the road, and that's what he did. But before he left, he called his boss and he said, hey, boss, look, I tried to lay down, tried to sleep, couldn't. So I'm going to go ahead and hit the road. I may stop one more time, but I will make sure this gets stopped by Monday morning. Okay. He's like, I won't miss. So his boss was a guy named Tom Wilson. He didn't think this call was strange because Devin was one of his best truck drivers.
Right.
And he knew that if he said it would be there Monday, he knew it was going to be there Monday. Despite whatever stops he made or whatever he trusted in Devin, because he was reliable, man. And so, Monday comes. Devin was a no-show.
Ooh.
So they call Tom. They say, and dude, Tom reported when they interviewed him, they called him 1 minute after 8 o'clock. So it was like 8:01.
It was like 8. And they were like, hey, always on time and he's not here.
Yeah, they're like, hey, Devin didn't show up. At first, Tom kind of got mad. You know what I mean? And he was like, look, it's a minute after the deadline. I'm sure he's going to get there.
Right.
So after a little bit of back and forth, they said they'll wait. So after a couple hours, Devin never showed up. So they called Tom back and said, hey, look, man, Devin our driver hasn't arrived.
Right.
Can you please get a hold of him? Like, we need this produce. And so at that point, Tom knew something wasn't right. It's 1995. Tom couldn't just call Devin.
Right.
There wasn't cell phones back then. So he waited for Tom. Maybe he'll call me from a payphone and he'll tell me a crazy story like, man, sorry this happened, or I got into an accident or ran out of gas, anything, you know what I mean? But that call never came. So Tom started getting a hold of all his other drivers along that route. Maybe they saw him, maybe they interacted with Devin, but they all said they hadn't seen him. So later that evening, Tom gets a call from Devin's wife, Mary Lou, saying, hey, do you know where Devin's at? He should have been home by now. I haven't heard from him in 2 days. He said he would be home in 2 days. I haven't seen him all day. So Tom told her, look, I'm looking for him too. He didn't show up to his load drop. So she got worried and called the police immediately. So the police showed up to Mary Lou's house. They took a missing persons report, and they said they would send an alert to all nearby stations along Devon's route,
right,
to see if they had any info, or maybe they had seen him somewhere, or maybe sometimes truckers, their truck breaks down,
stranded,
and they don't to get a hold of somebody in the middle of the highway,
right?
So maybe a state trooper will pull up and assist them or whatever,
right,
you know
right.
what I mean? And it's crazy, dog. They said they sent out the alert, and immediately a police station dispatched back to him. And they said they didn't know where Devin was, but they definitely knew where his truck was.
Oh.
And this is why. So the call they got was from a place called Coconino County, Arizona, which was located about 200 miles to the east.
I was gonna say, so that's not. So he had barely left his destination then.
Yeah, he had just left, bro. So Coconino County, Arizona. It was located about 200 miles to the east of Kingman, right, Arizona, which was the last spot Devin stayed at Saturday night. They said they didn't know where Devin was at, but they definitely knew where his truck was at because Sunday, his truck became the talk of the town.
Okay.
So Sunday, the day before he was reported missing, someone driving Devin's truck was terrorizing hikers and campers in the Tonto Forest. The Tonto Forest wasn't anywhere near Devin's route. Like, matter of fact, bro, it wasn't even by any route. Like, it was actually...
So they were driving his truck.
Somebody was driving...
With the trailer and everything.
Yeah. They were... It's like... So where he was at, it was 20 miles from the nearest highway road.
Right.
And, dude, this road that he was terrorizing hikers and campers on was barely big enough for small cars to fit down this road.
Right.
Let alone his 48-foot semi.
Right.
And, dude, it's crazy. On Sunday morning, roughly 8 hours after Devin called his boss, two campers named Lynn and Jack Yarrington were inside their tent when they heard a loud rumbling sound. And when they opened their tent down the road, they could see a cloud of smoke and dust coming closer. And as it got closer, they saw Devin's huge semi just blast past them, bro, at almost full speed. And it flies past them, and it's just going like down this way.
Right.
So they're confused. They're like, what the hell? A little bit later, they hear that same noise, and it comes back the other way, flying, and just flies past them again. So again, they weren't scared. They were just so confused, like, what the hell is this semi doing out here?
Right.
And for about 2 minutes, it's quiet, 3 minutes, and then they hear the rumbling again. The semi's coming back from the other way, back this way.
Dang.
Well, from where Lynn and Jack were at, they could see there was a bend in the road where they were staying. And on the other side of the road, a small sedan was coming this way, and this semi was coming this way. Neither one was going to see each other. So Jack and Lynn run to the road, start waving and yelling, and they're like, hey, stop, stop, stop. So the person in the sedan saw them, and he stopped just as Devin was swinging around the bend. They basically stopped and reversed as he swung right in front of them, and they swerved and flew off the road into some brush. And Devin the semi
just kept going.
Devin's semi just kept going, boom, like it didn't even care.
Right.
Like it didn't even see the sedan. Just flew past him. So as soon as they go into the brush, the driver hopped out. Lynn and Jack ran over to him, and the driver said he got a really good look at the semi driver, and that he was just gripping the wheel and staring straight ahead, like he was in some sort of trance.
Oh.
Well, a couple hours later, man, and not far from the first incident, there was a family hiking through the Tonto National Forest. Well, they got to a clearing, and in that clearing, it was a beautiful meadow area, and they planned to have a picnic. Well, as they walked further in, they saw a huge semi just parked literally in the middle of this clearing, and it looks like it's stuck in the mud. Well, it's a dad and the wife and the kids, so the father looks over, and he notices in the back of the semi, there's a man just standing in the back of the semi, just kind of just staring off into the distance. So the man told his family, just wait here. I'm going to go see if he needs any help. So as it gets closer, he could clearly see, yes, the semi stuck in the mud. He got about 5 feet away from the man, and he said, excuse me, do you need some help? But the man didn't answer. He just kept staring off into the distance. So the father was like, hey, man, I'm talking to you. Like, do you need anything? Like, do you need some help? So the man turned around and he looked at the father. And the father kind of backed up a bit because he knew, bro, something in his eyes looked off. So the man started slowly opening his mouth wider and wider until it got to as wide as it could get. And he started moving his jaw left to right just real fast and clicking his teeth together.
What?
So the man kind of started backing up like, what the hell?
Right.
And just as he was about to run back to his family, the man spoke and said, I didn't do it. They did it. I promise they did it. So the man ran back to his family because he's like, dude, I don't know what the hell this man's trying. Yeah, what he's talking about. So he gets his family, they take off, and they left home. So when they got home, they called the sheriff's office, which is the Coconino. And so when they reported what they saw, a deputy, it took him a while to kind of navigate to where the man explained where he was at. Well, when he got there, the semi was there. He walked around to it, and the man was nowhere to be seen.
Nobody was around.
So they looked inside the semi. Everything looked normal. Nothing was taken or nothing. So they opened the semi, and all the strawberries and the lettuce were still in there. Everything was intact. So they towed it back to the police station, and they ran the plates through their database to see if it belonged to any missing trucker. But Devin wasn't reported missing till Monday.
Right.
So they didn't, there was no hit.
That's how the officer knew about the truck itself.
Yeah, about the truck itself. They knew they had a truck there, but they didn't know whose it was. So when they got the alert on Monday, they knew this is that guy's truck.
Right.
But we don't know where he's at. So a lot of people say, man, it couldn't have been Devin because Devin, he's not like that. He never
of his demeanor.
Yeah, his demeanor. He was so nice. He wasn't crazy. He didn't have no mental problems. He had never been diagnosed with nothing. His wife said that he didn't drink alcohol. He didn't do drugs.
Right.
Every drug test that his boss would randomly give out to the truckers passed every time.
Right.
And he was one of the most reliable truck drivers that Tom had. So they were like, man, there's no way it could have been Devin driving like that through the forest. Like, what the hell?
Right.
So the police started a massive search, man, because they knew that was his vehicle, but they didn't have no idea of where he could have went or whoever was driving it. So they did a massive search, bro, the Tonto National Forest, bro, and they searched for 3 weeks for Devin.
Wow.
And
that's
it's crazy.
A long time.
Yeah, dude. It's crazy that during the search, them same people who saw the truck driver almost hit that sedan, they even reported to the police that they think they saw a man matching Devin's description. He was walking through the trails barefooted. But when they went to go check him out, they couldn't find him.
Okay.
And so they searched for 3 weeks on. Sadly, nothing turned up, so they had to call off the search. And this is where it gets crazy, dog. So it goes cold for 2 years.
Okay.
Well, on May 2nd, 1997, almost exactly to the day, 2 years.
Right.
2 hikers were walking on a trail near where the police had extensively searched for Devin. They're walking down the trail, and they see this white round thing on the floor. So as they get closer to it, they see it's a fully intact human skull. There's no skeleton. It's just the head, the skull. It's just sitting there. So like, what the hell? And that trail was a heavily, like people walked it.
Place, yeah.
Yeah, people walked that area. So they were tripping out like, how the hell does nobody found this shit?
And it's
just, it's like it just popped up out of nowhere. It's in the middle of the trail. Like, where the hell did it come from? And so, of course, they call the police. The police get there. They pick it up and they send it in for testing. And through DNA testing, they confirmed that it was the skull of Devin Williams.
Oh, wow.
And after that, bro, I mean, they did another search. They didn't find nothing else, but that for sure was his skull.
But no other bones.
So, no other bones nowhere. They didn't find nothing. And at that point, police are now pretty sure that the man that was driving that truck crazy like that was Devin through the trail.
The trail and all that,
and the man that was parked in the middle of that meadow, they're sure was Devin. That man saw where he was opening his mouth and moving his jaw weird.
So I wonder what happened.
And so to this day, nobody has ever figured out what happened to Devin. There's so much speculation, dog, because they're like exactly what you just said. I wonder what happened. That's why I call it the trucker route from hell. What happened to this man? Now, some experts or some people say that maybe it was that long driving with no sleep.
That's what not insomnia, but what is it? He just started like hallucinating,
right?
Because of lack of sleep, or
right. See, and that made me kind of dig because I'm like, bro, is lack of sleep, is it that detrimental?
Well, I mean, I've heard of lack of sleep will kill you too.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, but I've never been gone 3 days without sleeping. Well, we say we have, but we really haven't.
But you know, take a micro nap.
You know.
But to physically be awake
for 72 hours or
3 days, 4 days straight,
84 hours, whatever it was. I mean, did it take a toll on his brain and made him
kind of snapped him or something?
What research has been done over something like that?
That's why I'm like, I don't know if there's any research done on that, man. But I want to know now, dog.
I would imagine it would, you know, because being a trucker, these people got to know, you know, there's got to be some kind of research saying, you know, you have to get this amount of sleep within you know, a day or two or whatever.
Well, I'm assuming that's why they changed it to now where you're required to put in, you have to stop. Like, I think I talked to one dude and it says that, like, if he drives for a certain amount of hours, his truck will shut off and it won't come back on.
Well, I know, I'm pretty sure that's done with, like, big corporations.
Yeah. Like, I think Walmart truck driver had told me one time that, like, if they don't make a stop within a certain amount of hours, that the truck will shut off on them. Like,
so they got to know where the next truck stop is in order to stop. In order to have a place.
Yeah, your route's planned out.
If it stops in the middle of nowhere, then you're just stuck there until.
Yeah,
because I think it's 6 hours. You gotta have 6 hours of sleep.
Something like that. You know? Yeah, I'm not no.
See, but that doesn't really say they're gonna sleep.
Yeah, they could just chill. You know what I mean?
You know, for 6 hours until the truck restarts or whatever.
Yeah, that's true.
I know. Technology can do that, you know.
Yeah, like where you could just sit there and wait till it turns back on.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm saying.
Why would you take that chance?
Risk?
Yeah.
But that's what I'm saying. And like with him, I think he was in a rush. He's trying to get back to his family.
Yeah.
Maybe he was just like, man, I'll just get there and come back. And maybe he just put off sleep so long. All of a sudden
it just snapped on him. So no other bones or clothing or nothing has been found.
No, man.
You know, I wonder what kind of delusional,
like what
fear
delusional,
or
like what kind of state he was in.
Right.
That he was driving. I mean,
erratic.
Bro, what would make him go to the forest and fly around the trails like, bro, in that big semi?
If he's going back and forth, he's lost. Apparently, he's lost.
That's what they thought. But then he's there's no like methodical thoughts behind what he's doing. He's just flying around the forest like, and then he gets stuck in the mud.
Out of the skull, you know, if he was on a drug or
of course,
or maybe nephew, he's like, you know what, I have this speed here or this crank or this whatever type of drug, you know, that will keep me awake. And he took too much.
That's what I'm wondering. I'm wondering if he met somebody at the gas station and offered,
hey, you know,
hey man, you snort this up and keep you awake to make you finish this trip.
And it made him just
maybe it sent him into because dog, there is research on this that some people have done drugs and like been stuck in a like.
Yeah, well, I mean, I
you know what I mean?
In the 60s and 70s when they were doing so much
LSD,
that they never came out that trance, man.
That's what I've heard.
And they're in mental institutes because their minds never came back to reality.
Exactly. That's why I'm like, I wonder if that's what happened.
No, maybe
now, here's the other thing I'm tripping out on. Why just his skull?
That's what I'm saying.
Where's his body at?
Know, what could have...
Where's his body?
And why just did it just appear 2 years later?
And on the almost on the anniversary.
Yeah.
Because what is it? May, it's in May, and May 27th, his skull was found May 2nd, so it's almost to the year. You know, to the 2 years of the date.
Right.
So it's like, and then the head shows up in a heavily walked area,
and there's nothing else, no clothing, no.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So now I'm wondering. What really happened? What could have happened? What if somebody was in the back of the semi holding them hostage? Could that be a possibility? Man. But what would the I don't know. this story intrigues me, bro.
Right, because
it's like, what would
there's so many scenarios
that you could paint,
that
right?
You could, and be like, could it have been this? You know, like the drugs, or you know, the kidnapping, even to the point where possession. You know,
man, that'd be crazy too, dog.
Maybe something just
because there's movies about when cars getting possessed.
That's what I'm saying. His mind is if he's that tired and he can't sleep, his mind is not working. And what's the easiest way to get possessed is when you're vulnerable. I'm not not gonna go that deep that he was possessed, but
don't feel like that's too far off, because there's an alien theory in here.
Oh, there's an alien
that he got abducted by aliens in that meadow.
He got abducted, but
and they maybe took his body and dropped his head off 2 years later. In the middle of a trail, just dropped his head off.
The same spot, just happens to be the same spot.
Happened to be the same spot. But that's the thing. They found his head in a place where they had been investigated.
That's what I'm saying.
Thoroughly checked.
There was nothing around.
So where was this dude at? That's what, dog, and it just tripped. Bro, just finding the head by itself is what blows my mind.
Yeah.
Why? Just the head.
Not partially bones, you know.
That's what I'm saying. I mean,
or was it bears or that took him and it just finished the head off, you know, like all the meat, and just had it in his mouth and just dropped it?
But
it happens to be the same spot. I mean, there's so many coincidences and so many.
I mean, there's so many theories you could paint, just because, and we'll never know. You know what I mean?
Well,
that's the crazy thing. You'll never know what the idea of his mind.
Because even if you find his, you'll never know what he was thinking. Yeah. But even if they find his bones later on, you're not going to know anything else besides these are his bones.
Yeah, all that did was give at least closure to the family. Like, look, he did pass away.
He did pass away somehow,
some way. But it's crazy because, man, his story was, bro, he's such an average Joe, man.
Yeah.
Like, such an average, normal American, bro. See,
that goes back to last week's theory is, why would an alien abduct an average Joe?
Right.
That's what I'm saying, dog. I mean, I do believe in aliens, and you know I do. It's just,
I mean, we can't leave.
Why an average Joe? I mean,
we can't leave out that Bigfoot could have got a hold of him.
Oh yeah. Well, I don't know if there's a Bigfoot in
the Tonto,
Arizona, right? The Arizona mountains.
Man, there could be a Bigfoot in every forest.
True.
How would we know?
How we know? Yeah.
You know? But yeah, man, it was a good story, man. It was interesting to me that this man, he was as normal as could be. I mean, like his wife said, no mental health history. Right. He didn't do drugs. He didn't do nothing, bro. Not even drink alcohol.
And sometimes we wonder ourselves, you know, there's a missing person from not far from here. I don't remember the town, but it's been missing since last September.
Yeah.
You know, nothing's been found on this man, and I can't even remember his name or nothing. I just know that he's missing. How can you go missing like that? You know, from one day to the next, when this driver Devin was talking to his to his boss. You know, the day before.
Exactly.
And then.
And then 8 hours later,
they never heard from him again.
Yep, that is true.
You know what I'm saying?
It's so wild to think that in this day and age. I mean, I know this was back in '95.
Yeah,
but like in general, for somebody just to disappear off the planet, and then 2 years later for your remains to be found. I mean, it's just a crazy thought. And for me, to me, it goes back to, like I said, I have so many theories on why people go missing.
Right.
I question could they have slipped into an alternate reality, or we've talked about that.
Yeah, a different zone, you know, and maybe was he driving that fast to get? Maybe he drove into one, like you said. He drove into a different dimension, and he was so erratic, thinking he wasn't in where he was supposed to be, and he was trying to get out.
Right, that's what I'm saying, dog. And he was so crazy.
I mean, because of the speed of an 18-wheeler. I mean, even at 60 miles an hour, that's fast. 70 miles an hour is fast for I don't know what they weigh, but tons and tons, you know.
Like to be flying through the forest like that,
driving that fast, you know.
That is crazy, dog. And that leads me to believe to my next. What I want to bring up next is, like, you know, we talked about sleep deprivation.
Right.
And, remember we covered the Russian sleep experiment.
Yeah, look how crazy they got.
See, and I know they say, like I said, that's the story that was made up. But
please don't let me go. They didn't want to go to sleep.
They didn't want to go back to sleep after being up for so long. And it's like that inner demon woke up in them. That something that was just hiding in our own.
Possession.
Do we have something hidden in us? Some type of, because you think about it, like they say adrenaline. Like if something would have happened,
something so heavy.
People have been lifted cars off of people when their adrenaline kicks in. What is that though? What is adrenaline?
Right.
Could that be like what they say? Our bodies are spirits, or we're vessels harboring the spirit of ourselves. You know, but like you said, some type of possession deal, or when people get possessed, it's like they get superhuman strength.
Right.
And it's like what inside us from no sleep awakens some type of monster in us that, like him. I mean, dude, he's in some weird trance, and then he talks to that man. He's moving his jaw, clicking his teeth together like an animal.
Right. Like
what does that bring out? Early.
That makes sense, nephew. Now that you're saying that, because I hadn't forgotten about the Russian experiment. But you're right. I mean, these guys were their inner demons were out. Where they were trying to kill each other. Because they didn't want to go to sleep, and this man couldn't go to sleep. And did it take over his mind? Sleep deprivation, you know what I'm saying?
And it causes hallucinations.
Caused him to...
Oh, I got a theory for you, dog.
Here we go.
Could you imagine this? What if it's like the reverse? So, like, we're really awake, but we're really asleep. And let me explain. Okay. I know that don't make sense, but let me explain. What if you stay up so long... You start seeing hallucinations, but that's not hallucinations. Maybe you're just awakening to the real world. How the world
that
really
would be
is.
Crazy, right?
And when we think we're awake, we're really asleep. But we actually see what the world is really like.
I know exactly what you're talking about, because
you know what I'm saying?
I mean,
that'd be crazy.
Is our life really
like
just a dream, simulation, like you said, until we die? Or until we snap out of it?
Oh, because like what is it? I read a story one time. It was a creepypasta or something where these people were put to sleep by aliens, and they were harvesting their brain and these machines were keeping them asleep. But each person got a life, an individual life, and they were under a simulation. The whole time they were under a simulation, dog. Man, and so they're living life, they're doing this, but they're really asleep the whole time. And when one of them finally realized, I'm asleep, and when he woke up and saw them aliens, and they were trying to put him back to sleep, and he had that machine on his head, and he like ripped it off, and man, that big alien was like, we've taken over y'all's world a long time ago, and we've been feeding off of y'all's brains, off of human brains, and they said the whole world. And so when he walked out of that house he was in, the whole world was dark and the smoky, and like the world had ended, and all humans
and all you see is just
destruction. And everywhere all the humans are asleep. Aliens had conquered the world.
Wow,
man, that's crazy, dog. We could really be asleep.
I mean, could we? Could we just? Could this be a dream that we're living?
Right. Is that why we get...
Not the American dream, but just a dream?
But just a dream. And maybe deja vu.
Because deja vu, dog, is so... To me, it's so powerful.
It's crazy, right? When you catch that moment.
That little moment when you... Because I had it once at work, and I'm like, what the fuck?
It stops you,
and my friend was like, what's going on? I'm like, dude... We've done this before. I just had deja vu, and what we just talked about, it just happened already. So are we in a reverse cycle, or are we in a...
or maybe maybe timelines crossed, and one life had already did that, And now you're just catching up to your other.
And at that time, that's when the deja vu happens.
You're like, wait.
Because we're living the two separate, like you said. When they cross each other and you get the deja vu, that's all you remember because
the timeline's crossed.
Yeah.
Hey, see what I mean? Bro, that's what I love. I love the time theories, bro. Because, dog, there's so many, like, coincidences, man.
Yeah, there's too much. Like there's too much out there unexplored, unknown. Dimensions, fourth dimension, fifth dimension. Can you imagine a sixth dimension world?
Dude, that's crazy.
Where people in that dimension are using 60% of the brain or 80% of the brain, speaking telepathically or
right, like you don't have to just look at each other and we can read each other's thoughts.
Know what we're talking about?
Man, that was suck in public, man.
Wouldn't it,
like you be looking at a girl and be like, damn, she fine. And she turn around like, hey, man, damn.
I think it'd be different. I think telepathically is to one person.
So it'd be like
I don't think you'd be able to be walking and read somebody's mind. I think
there's got to be like some type of
communication only.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying.
That's what I'm thinking. I don't think you'd be able. There might be people that can read people's minds, but not concurrently. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I think at one point, you're thinking of number 13. Oh, you're right. That's a guess,
like
right?
A coincidence.
But, but in the future, if we could expand our minds even more to where we could speak, we could read each other's minds. I think it'd be just for communication. I don't think it'd be like, oh, I know what she's thinking.
Yeah, because you hear that where the scientists say that we're not using 100% of our brain power.
Right.
Like we're only using a small
amount.
Very
small percentage. Right.
Dog. Not to jump from
like the movie Lucy, but it's good.
Yeah. Oh, not to jump from section to section, but this is related. There's a theory that, like, going along with deja vu, reincarnation. Now, I'm gonna be honest on. This is where it gets tough for me.
I got one for you too on reincarnation. Go ahead.
Because, us as we believe in God. We believe that we die, we go to heaven, all that stuff. But man, reincarnation, bro, there's things that people present evidence, and like I read a story one time
of a past life. Yeah,
I read a story about this girl. No, it was a kid who. There was a guy. No, it was a guy, and he was a store owner or whatever. Like he worked at a shop, and he got robbed one day, and they shot him in the forehead with a gun.
Right.
Or something like that, like in his head
That's
or something.
Dead, pretty much.
And he died or whatever. Well, years later, a little kid started saying that he was not who he was, that my name is actually this, and I live in India. And they're like, no, you don't. Like, what the hell are you talking about? And he told them, man, I live here. I had a wife. I had kids. I had this and that. And they're like, what the hell? Why is he's like 5 years old, bro.
Yeah.
And they're like, why is he saying stuff like that? And so one day, man, I guess he had talked about it so much, he was getting visibly upset, like telling his parents, like, man, I really am this person.
Right.
So they took him to India. And he, got to the hometown where he said he was from. Man, he navigated his way to his own house.
Oh, wow.
And when the wife opened the door, he said, I am this person. And the wife lost it. She's like, that's my husband's name. Like, he's like, yeah, that was me in another life. And he had a scar, a birthmark on his forehead.
Oh, dang.
He had a birthmark where she's like, that's where my husband got shot at. He had a birthmark, dog.
Right in the same spot there. That's crazy,
and
right?
And this was like, dog, what the hell?
And the theory I heard, man, is like the white light. I think I told you about that before.
I've heard. Explain it, though, so they know. I think I know what you're talking about.
I guess they're dying.
Right.
And they always say, you see the white light, go to the white light because that's where you're going to heaven or whatever. Well, one is that when you're dying and you start seeing the white light, as you get closer to the white light and you finally get there, it's the birth of the new baby.
That's
what
bad.
they're seeing is the opening,
of the mother. Yeah,
the mother.
You're coming out to a new world.
Oh man,
I've heard that before.
Yeah,
dog.
dude,
that's crazy to think about.
Being because we don't really know what an infant's mind is going through it. In the womb, or through birth. Yeah. But. Is it, man, the white light, and boom, next thing you know, you're reborn.
You're a baby
You're
now.
somebody else. You know,
that's so crazy to think about.
But then as you grow, like I said, little boy, you know, the deja vu. I mean, I'm not who I am. I know. You know, I was a conqueror back then, or whatever. You know, people say stuff like that.
Right.
You know,
dude, there's so many stories of reincarnation. We might cover some one day, because dog, there's some good stories that I've listened to on reincarnation, and that's why I'm like, oh man, it conflicts with your faith.
There's too many theories, like I said, for this story.
To what happened to this guy?
For us, to the story of Devin, that we're jumping back and forth, because could it all? One of those be true?
Right. That's the thing.
I don't know. I mean,
the human mind,
we're no scholars or nothing like that.
Yeah, we're not scholars, but the speculation. I think that's what makes it so interesting as humans, man, is that we don't officially know everything there is to know about the human life and death. And I think because of that, it's so fascinating, because we have so many different theories.
Life and death. You're right, nephew.
Yeah.
That life and death is so. I mean, because we don't, you know, we pray to God, hoping that we're good enough to get into heaven.
Right.
But
do we really know?
Is there a heaven? We believe in Jesus. We believe in God, the Almighty, which we make it to heaven, then we know it was true. But if it's not true, what's after that?
The crazy thing is we won't know until it happens.
We die, yeah. And then when we die, are we going to know anybody else? That's my theory. I love my daughter. You know that. When I die, am I going to see her in heaven?
Yeah, well, I know the Bible talks about reuniting with family.
You know.
But the thing is, this is along those lines.
We can be reunited.
Yeah.
In the same area, but am I going to know who she is? Is she going to be, you know, the dwarf that she was on Earth?
Well, the Bible says they'll be in a complete body.
That's what I'm saying, a complete body. I mean, there was nothing wrong with her besides being small.
Right. But see, that's the thing, and that's what I want to say before we close out, because I got something cool I want to bring to your attention.
Okay.
Because us as humans don't know what happens after death,
we
bro.
Don't.
And it's crazy, and we won't know until it happens. We don't know what happens after death so much that even when you dream, bro, this is how much we don't know as humans. Have you ever had a dream where you died?
No, but I had a dream where I've been trying to get killed, but not dead. I've never died in a dream.
So check this out, dog. And I don't know, somebody may be like, no, I've had one, but me personally, I've never read anybody.
Well, I heard if you died in a dream, you died on life, but I don't know.
Well, see, this is what I'm saying. Because I've had a dream where I've gotten shot and died. But us as humans don't know what happens after death. Our brains don't know, so much to the point that when we dream about dying, when we die, we usually wake up. Because our brain can't fathom what happens after death, so it can't even create an illusion. Because the brain itself doesn't know what happens after death.
Right.
So when you die in your dream, usually you wake up in the morning like, what the hell? I just had a rough dream. I died in my dream, but you don't know what happened after. Because your brain don't know. Your brain, all it does when you're dreaming is it just takes pieces of your life and creates like a little
story.
Like a little story or like, yeah. So anything in your dream, like, have you ever heard about this? Anytime you've seen somebody in your dream that you didn't know, you've seen them in real life before. Your dream doesn't create faces.
Okay.
Every time you see somebody in your dream, your brain, you don't know this. I read this in a scientific study one time.
Okay.
Your brain subconsciously have passed people in the streets and your brain remembers their face. So when you go to sleep and you get into that REM cycle where you start dreaming, your brain will create, like a movie or a storyline. And people who you think you don't know, you've seen them before.
Wow, that's crazy, man.
Your brain remembers faces subconsciously.
That's crazy.
And so, but yeah, when you die, you usually wake up. You know what I mean? You say, like, I've had dreams where I was falling.
Dude, that's
and before I hit the ground, I wake up. Yeah. Oh, whoo. But you don't know. Your brain doesn't even know what happens after death, so it can't create a story.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's how much we don't know.
That makes a lot of sense, nephew. That makes a lot of sense, But because I've had dreams like where I'm falling, and I've seen people. I've had dreams where I've been in places that I've never really seen, but I have seen. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Right. And it's totally different, dog. It's just you wake up and you're like, what does that mean? You know, you want to know the meaning of a dream.
Of a dream so bad,
because
man.
You're like, why the scenario that you just went through is impossible.
Yes. Like last night, dog. Have you ever had one of these dreams? And dude, I swear to God, I woke up almost in tears because these dreams scare me, bro. I had a dream last night that all my teeth fell out. Like, you ever had dreams like that?
I have, and I looked that one up.
Like, I was there, and I felt like my tooth was loose, and I just grabbed it, and it just came out. And then I was just taking all my teeth out.
And that goes to your anxiety, dog.
Yeah.
That's it. I don't remember exactly what it was, the whole meaning of teeth falling out, but I know it's something to do with anxiety and depression and, you know, which I know we had that in our family, you know, and we struggle with it, but we maintain it, you know.
But maybe subconsciously it's eating at us, you know what I mean? But why teeth, man? I hate that dream, dog.
Because teeth are so important to us.
Oh, okay, maybe that's why. I was like, man, if my nose came off, I'd have been like,
damn. You know, go get me a different nose.
Go put it. If Michael Jackson can do it, I can do it.
You know, but teeth are important. You know, because without teeth, you may not be able to speak properly, eat properly,
and they even hold your facial structure.
Yeah, because they're bones.
Yeah, your facial.
It's a bone structure. Yeah, you know, I mean? You know, so.
That's wild, man. If y'all comment below, if y'all ever had a dream where y'all's teeth fell out, man, I wake up in a sweat and panic, dog. I touch my teeth. Hey, make sure they're still there, dog.
Mine are here. They're just a little broken here and there, but hey,
your dream man became a reality.
Man. Yeah, one day we may discuss that scenario.
Oh, that story? Oh yeah, because that story is hilarious.
It's hilarious, dog.
Hey, just know. Y'all be careful when lifting washers up. You gotta secure that lid, baby.
You do.
man, you got anything you want to say before we head out, man? I think we had a good stopping point.
I'm good, man. I'm good. That was a great story today, man. I appreciate it, nephew. Everything that you're doing for me right now while I'm in recovery. Appreciate y'all people, man, that
for sure.
who have sent love or whatever, some comments on my TikTok and stuff.
Facts.
Appreciate everything that y'all say. You know, good luck to Stephanie. She's fixing to have one of our church members is going to have a knee replacement here.
Oh, okay.
Stephanie Moreno and
shout out, man.
Good luck to you.
Hope everything goes well, man.
For me, besides swelling and a little bit of pain, I'm good. Therapy's going well, man. I appreciate everything y'all done, man. Other than that, nephew, of course, thank you to you, for
sure, man.
Picking me up, getting me food, doing what we got to do, because I'm still on a walker. I'm not going to show it on here, but I do use a walker.
Yeah, it's right over there. I'll pull it over here, dog.
But hopefully here in a couple of weeks I'll be on the cane, and after that.
Oh, you got a pimp cane coming, huh?
I got a walking stick coming up, dog.
I'm going to get you the one that Moses had, that rod.
As long as it can... water.
But that's what's up. Yeah, man. Thank y'all for everything y'all been doing, man. Every week, I know every week we say it when we sign off, but we really do mean it, man. We really do appreciate it because, I mean, outside of doing music and outside of you working, this isn't something that we thought we could do.
Right.
So us just doing this every week, bro. Man, it always blows my mind.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, man, we love y'all guys, man. And thank y'all for joining us for another exciting episode of Late Night Conversations with Uncle Nephew. Man, if y'all have any suggestions, y'all drop them in the comments. Any stories y'all want us to tell. But other than that, man, until next week.
Peace.
Peace.